Okay, so on to the third line of music now. And because our index finger is already in place on the 7th fret, barring the 7th fret, we're going to use this. And we're going to use this with the 8th fret of the G string. And this is the 3rd string. So we're going to play a cluster of notes. So we're going to play the 3rd, the 2nd, and the 1st string together. And it's going to sound like this. Okay, so basically we're going to play this twice. On the second time, we're going to use the same shape and we're going to slide up 1 semitone, which is basically 1 fret. Then we're going to go back to the 7th fret again and play that again. So it'll sound like this. As soon as we've got back to this shape, which is on the 7th fret, we're going to play a percussive hit. And again, I use the back of my 4th finger for this. So altogether you should have Okay, so next we're going to move the shape that we had at the 7th fret up 1 fret again, which is 1 semitone. And this time we're going to arpeggiate this pattern. And it's going to be the 9th fret of the G string, the 8th fret of the B, and the 8th fret of the high E. And it's going to be like a roll. By that I mean you play it with your index finger, followed by your middle, followed by your 4th finger. So it'll sound like this. Okay, so that first section is Next you're going to play the low E string, which you should have in place from this bar shape. Then you're going to play another percussive hit, and this is basically this shape that we already have in place. Okay, so just that section sounds like this. Next we're going to play the 8th fret of the low E, which is the 6th string, followed by the 9th fret of the G string with our middle finger. That's the 3rd string. Then followed by the 8th fret of the B and the 8th fret of the high E. So that's the 2nd and the 1st string. And you play them together. So just that section is. Then you're going to play another percussive hit, which is exactly the same as the previous one. So basically your fingers don't move at this point. Okay, so altogether the 3rd line sounds like this so far. Next we're going to play the 8th fret of the low E string, which should be in place from the bar shape again. Then we're going to play the 10th fret of the G string, which is the 3rd string, with our little finger. So it'll sound like this. Next we'll play the 8th fret of the B string, which is the 2nd string. So Next we're going to play the 10th fret of the G string and the 8th fret of the B string and the 8th fret of the high E string as a percussive hit. And basically we should have our middle finger just behind our little finger, so on the 9th fret of the G string, and that last section will sound like this once again. Okay, so I'll just play the entire third line of music for you. Okay, so on to the fourth and the final line of music for the chorus. And it starts off in the 8th fret of the B string. And this should be in place from the previous bar chord. We're then going to go to the 10th fret of the B string with our little finger. And then we're going to play a percussive hit. And this is going to be from the 9th fret of the G string, which we'll use with our middle finger, the 8th fret of the B string and the 8th fret of the high E string, and it'll sound like this. Then we're going to slide up from the 10th fret of the B string up to the 11th fret with our little finger. Then we're going to play the 8th fret of the E string and the 8th fret of the B string. Okay, so we have this so far. Okay, so next we're going to play a down strum on a C minor bar chord, and this is going to be with the back of our index nail. This is then followed by 2 upstrokes with our index finger, then a downstroke with the back of our index fingernail. So you should have. Then finally you have 2 upstrokes with either your thumbnail or your thumb pick, followed by 1 final down strum with the back of your index nail. So the rhythm of that last section is. Okay, so that final line of music is.